Hi everyone, welcome back to my read along channel. We are reading Candyfloss by Jacqueline Wilson. Today, sadly, is our last chapter in this book. This is all Jacqueline Wilson's own work. I'm just reading it for entertainment and pleasure. The chapter is chapter 23, which is on page 331, until the very end, which is on page 346. So, I can't believe we're already here at this era, at the end of Candyfloss. Obviously this book's taken a little bit longer to finish off, but it's going to feel weird when we finish it. So without further ado, let's get going. Chapter 23. Susan and I had a positive feast the next day at lunchtime. Everyone looked at our food enviously, especially the cake and the chocolate strawberries. "Give us a strawberry, Floss," said Rhiannon. I goggled at her, astonishingly cheap. "No way," I said firmly. "Here, Susan, have a strawberry. Aren't they delicious?" I didn't really want one. "I bet they tasted chip fat," said Rhiannon. "Yeah, smelly chip, like we risk eating your dad's gross food," said Margot. "Smelly belly bum chip," said Judy. They all three held their noses. I stood up and glared at them. "You three are so infantile," I said, "and you'd only let your snotty noses and take a... You'd only let go of your snotty nose and take a big sniff. You wouldn't see I don't actually smell of chips, on account of the fact that my dad stopped frying them." "What's he going to do then?" said Rhiannon. "It's none of your business," said Susan. No one asked you, Swatty Potty," said Rhiannon. "So what of the other work can your dad do, smelly chip? That's all he knows about, though he's not much use at that, is he? He lets your cafe go bust, and he lets the chip van go off in flames. My mum says she's going to have to go to social services. She says you need someone to look after you." I took a step closer to Rhiannon, so we were practically nose to nose. "Well, she's quite a bit bigger than me, so we're kind of nose to chest. You tell your mum she doesn't need to worry about me anymore. She can send a whole army of social workers to see me if she wants, but it's a complete waste of time. To start with, I've got my mum, and she'll be coming back this autumn. Then I've got my dad, and he's just great at looking after me. And lastly, I have my Auntie Rose." "You haven't got an Auntie Rose," said Rhiannon. "I have so. She came to see us on Monday, and we went to see her on Tuesday, and we're going to see each other heaps and heaps. She made me a special lunch. She's brilliant at everything. She can tell fortunes. She's got all kinds of extraordinary occult powers, and she says I'm highly receptive, so she's going to teach me to channel them properly. And then, when I'm up to speed, you three had better watch out. Now, you and Margot and Judy just bog off and let Susan and me enjoy our lunch in peace." They did just that. They scuttled off, looking quite scared. Even Susan seemed a little disconcerted. "You said exactly 100 words again. Do you really have occult powers, Floss?" she whispered. "Hey, you're not meant to be the brainy one, okay? Of course not. Honestly, Floss, you make things go up so they sound so real. So haven't you got even Auntie Rose?" "Well, I have, sort of. She's not a real aunt, but she's a friend of my dad's." "A new friend of my dad's. And she's ever so nice, and she does tell fortunes, and I'm sure she will teach me if I ask her nicely. And she made the food for us, so she is really brilliant cook, isn't she? Susan, would you mind if I saved that biggest strawberry, the one with the most chocolate?" "Not at all. It's your lunch after all. It's not for me. I wanted to save it for Mrs. Horsfield. I put it on her desk at the start of the afternoon school. This is a little present for you, Mrs. Horsfield," I said shyly. "Oh, Floss, it looks so lovely, but I can't eat your special strawberry, sweetheart. I've chomped my way through your special iced buns with the cherry on top. It's your turn for a treat, Mrs. Horsfield," I said. "Well, thank you very much, Floss," said Mrs. Horsfield. She took a big bite of chocolate strawberry, breathed in and went, and rolled it around her tongue. "It's delicious. My Auntie Rose made it," I said proudly. "I didn't know you had an auntie," said Mrs. Horsfield, sounding delighted. "Well, she moved away," I said vaguely, "but now she's moved nearer again. Felting isn't really that near, but Dad and I caught the bus over to the fair again on Friday night. We spent most of Saturday there too. Rose let me serve Candyfloss again. I even managed to give the right change to people, even though I'm such rubbish at maths. Dad hung out with us a lot of the time, but then he went off for a stroll and palled up with Jeff, the guy in charge of the Stargazer ride. He was having a spot of bother changing a dodgy wheel. Dad couldn't help much because he still has his bandages on, but he squatted down beside Jeff and peered at all the silver nuts and bolts and talked earnest engine talk. "Look at them," said Rose fondly. "Does your dad know much about machinery, Floss?" "Well, he thinks he does," I said. Rose roars with laughter. You're like a little old woman at times, she paused. Then she looked at me straight in the eye. So, what do you think about your dad and me, darling? I shrugged shyly. I know it's early days yet, but your dad and me, well, we really seem to hit it off, she said. Yep, I said. And this time, when we move on tomorrow, we're going to make sure we stay in touch. That's great, I said. We paused to serve 2 customers with pink and lilac candy floss. Rose went on to winding a stick round and round the sugar cauldron, even though she wasn't making candy floss for anyone else. I know, I'm quite a bit older than your dad, she said. Are you? I said, surprised. I didn't know that. You don't look it. Oh, sweetheart, thank you, she said. I also know just how close you and your dad are, and that's lovely. I want you to understand, I don't want to get in the way of that. When my soul was young, I had a boyfriend who was rather hard for him to handle. It caused quite a lot of trouble. Rose stirred and stirred, her candy floss getting bigger and bigger. So is Dad your boyfriend now? I asked. He says you're his girlfriend. Did he? Do you mind? I thought about it very carefully. I used to think I'd mind if Dad got a girlfriend, but I don't seem to mind a bit if it's you, Rose. That candy floss is simply ginormous now. Yeah, well, it's a special big fluffy floss for you, said Rose, handling it over with a flourish. I ate it as carefully as I could, but I still ended up with sticky sugar all over my cheeks and spangling my ears and nose. You've even got wisps in your hair, said Rose, picking them out carefully. You've got such lovely fluffy curls, darling. You're just like candy floss yourself. She played with my hair, fluffing it out. Yes, if we coloured it pale pink, you'd look like perfect candy floss. Ooh, could we? I don't know what your dad would say. I can get round, Dad, I said. Yes, I'm sure you can, sweetie. But what would they say at school if you turned up with pink hair? We've only got 1 more week and then it's the holidays. All right then. When you have actually broken up, we'll see about turning you into a real candy floss, okay? I told Susan that Rose had promised to colour my hair for me. You lucky thing, she said. It will look prettier than ever, but promise it won't make you go all silly and clothes mad and boy crazy like Rihanna, Margot and Judy. I promise, silly, I said, giving her a hug. Maybe you could come to the fair with Dad and me one day and Rose will colour your hair too. My mum would go demented, said Susan. Well, we could pretend it like spraying your hair red for comic relief. Oh, Susan, if I get my hair dyed pink, I'll match Pearl. She's this horse on the roundabout. She's got a wonderful pink mane and tail, and she's snowy white with big blue eyes, and she's my absolute favourite. But you can have first go on her when you come to the fair with me. Sapphire's lovely too. She's white as well, but with a blue mane, and Amber's great too. He's a glossy brown with a yellow mane and tail. You sound like you belong to the fair already, said Susan. Oh, I wish, I said. I worried that we wouldn't be going to the fair so much the next week because they moved on past Felting to a town called Bromshaw, about 40 miles away. But Dad went back to see the doctor on Monday morning and had his burns inspected, and they said they were healing beautifully. He could leave his bandages off and drive the van again. It feels so good, Floss, said Dad, waggling his fingers at me one by one. It's great to have my wheels back too. Let's go for a drive, darling. How about checking out the fair at Bromshaw? I thought it would be fun to see if Dad completely different there. I looked at Dad. You think Rose will be selling burgers and Pearl will be stuck onto the stargazer eyes, I said. No, are you teasing me, Floss? Of course I'm teasing you, Dad. We don't need any excuses. Let's go to the fair. You can always do your homework in the van. I haven't got any homework, Dad. We break up on Friday. Oh, let me guess. Dad sighed. What are we going to do with you during the holidays, sweetheart? I'll have to find some kind of job to keep us going, and I very much doubt I'll be able to take you with me. Dad paused. Maybe it's time you go and join your mum, darling. We've had a lovely time together, but I've been having sleepless nights worrying about you. Don't worry, Dad, I'm fine. We'll work something out for the summer. I held my hand out in front of my face, palms up. Aha! Rose isn't the only one who can tell fortunes. I can see a big curvy line on each palm. They're like smiley faces. That means I'm going to be very, very happy. I hope so, darling. Listen, I was wondering, Susan's dad seems a very nice chap and he'd say he did owe us. Do you think you could play around at Susan's some of the time, once I get a job I can offer to pay? That would be great, Dad, though it might do my head in if they kept trying to teach me all the time. But they're going to their house in France. I don't know. There's them with 2 houses and here we are without any. Well, maybe it's good to travel like Rose and I, or to the fairground people, I said. We had another lovely evening at the fair. Eddie, the roundabout man, had become such an old pal by now. He utterly refused to take my pound for the ride. In fact, you can do me a favour, Floss. I need to test out all the gallopers to make sure they're safe and solidly fixed. Perhaps you'd be an angel and ride them each in turn. I think he was just being sweet to me, but I wasn't really going to argue. While I was test riding every horse on the roundabout, Dad had another chat with the stargazer guy, and then he bought burgers and chips from one of the fans and had a long discussion about the fat fryers and types of sauce and vinegar, but most of the time we hung out around Rose's stall. Dad had several goes on Liz's lucky dart stall, to be polite, and amazingly scored 180. Well, Liz insisted he had, taking the darts out of the board so quickly we couldn't really check. She gave Dad a huge blue plush teddy, the twin of Rose's pink bear. Here you are, Floss, said Dad, thrusting an envelope bear at me. Thank you very much, Dad, but I think I'm maybe getting too big for bears, I said. Well, who can we give it to, said Dad. Tiger might like him, but he won't be back for months. Anyway, I've already given him Kanga. What about Susan? Is she too big for bears too? She's not really into cuddly toys, Dad. Well then, Dad turned to Rose with a big smile. You wouldn't like to hang him alongside your pink bear, would you? I think that's a lovely idea, said Rose. We'll hook him up right this minute. Come here, Blue Ted. Come make friends with Pinky. He looks a bit of a bear compared to her, said Dad. We better kit him out with some clothes. Hey, I know an outfit that could be absolutely perfect, I said, chuckling. A blue denim outfit. I can sew the skirt into shorts, easy peasy. And the denim cap will look really cute tucked over one ear. Dad took me to the Dodgems too. I didn't really like it much, especially when we got bumped, but I squealed and laughed and pretended because Mike, the owner, let us go on for free, as we were friends of Rose. Mike's daughter, Ella, collected the money on the Dodgems, and she was only a year or so older than me, but she was much taller and a really tough tomboy girl who leaped lightly from car to car, her money belt tight round her slim hips. She sorted everyone out and swore cheerfully at any boys daft enough to try a cheek on her or chat her up. We went for an ice cream together, while Dad and Mike were having a chat, but I hardly dared say a word to her. You don't say much, do you? She said, licking her ice cream with her pink pointy tongue. I just shrugged my shoulders and licked too. You've got a tongue, I can see it, said Ella. So speak. Have you been with the fair all your life? I mumbled. Yeah, my family have always been showmen. Well, my dad used to ride the Wheel of Death, but he saved up enough to buy his Dodgems, she grinned. They're mine too. That's really cool, I said. I didn't know children could work for the fair. I'm not a little kid, said Ella. My brothers work later on after dark. We all help out. It's what you do at a fair. Well, I always helped my dad, I said. He used to have a cafe. I acted like a waitress at the weekends and even got tips. So how come you're friendly with Rose? Are your dad and Rose an item? I shrugged. Again, sort of. We all love Rose. She's genuinely useless at picking men, though. They always let her down. My dad never lets anyone down, I said fiercely. Yes, he seems like a nice bloke, said Ella, even though he's a flatty. A fatty, I said. He's not. Well, he's a bit plump, but he's not really fat. No, I said flatty. You're one too. Punters. Customers. She pretended to smoke her chocolate flake. I copied her. I've got real cigarettes if you want one, she said, reaching in her jeans pocket. No thanks, I've given up, I said quickly. She laughed at me, but not unkindly. I decided I liked Ella, even though I was a bit scared of her. I hope we might be friends, though not, of course, a best friend like Susan. It was so sad at school on our last day before we broke up for the summer holidays. I'm going to miss you so much, Susan, I said, nudging up close to her at the desk. I'm going to miss you, said Susan, giving my hand a quick squeeze. Rhiannon made silly kissing noises behind us. We took no notice of her. Oh, right, heaps from France. Yes, too, only not in French. I know what you're like, Susan. Moi? Said Susan, laughing. I'll text you too on my dad's mobile, and even though I probably see you, my cousins out in France, and maybe some of the stepbrothers and stepsisters too, I feel so lonely without you, Floss. Rhiannon made a disgusting vomit sounds. Perhaps you'd better run to the toilets if you're feeling sick, Rhiannon, said Mrs. Horsfield. It's not fair, Mrs. Horsfield. You always take their side. It's like they're your special favourite, said Rhiannon, and they didn't even give you a proper goodbye present, just that babyish homemade thing. Rhiannon had given Mrs. Horsfield a huge box of chocolates and a bottle of champagne. Mrs. Horsfield paused. She fingered the blue denim pencil case Susan and I had made her as a goodbye present. We embroidered it with our pink cherry buns and written our favourite teacher in chain stitch. You've all given me lovely presents, said Mrs. Horsfield. I'm very lucky to have such a sweet and delightful pupils. As a teacher, I try very hard to be impartial. But do you know something, Rhiannon? I'm a human being too. Sometimes you simply can't help having favourites. Susan and I hung back at going home time so we could both give Mrs. Horsfield a goodbye hug. Then we had our goodbye hug, and that was so hard. But eventually I jumped in the van beside Dad and waved until Susan was out of sight. I hate saying goodbye to people, I sniffed. I know, Pet. Still, you'll see Susan quite soon when she gets back from her holiday. I wish we were going on holiday, Dad, I said, sighing. I know we can't help it. I'm not really complaining, but it's going to be horrible just stuck at Billy's house all summer. Well, said Dad, I've got this idea, Floss. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. It's maybe crazy, but how would you like to join up with the fair for a few weeks? What? Really? Oh, Dad, I want to. Rose and I have had a long talk. She's so lovely, isn't she? I can't believe my luck. But anyway, she needs someone to help her out, for all she's so independent. And I've been talking to some of the guys, and they always need someone to help build up and pull down their rides. I'm a bit long in the tooth, but they can't always get lads nowadays. I wouldn't make much money, but there's a chance I can help out at the burger stall, maybe making chip butties if there's a call for it. Only you'd stay safe in Rose's caravan, okay? How would you feel about it? Oh, Dad, yes. So you're really up for it, Floss? You bet I am. It's just for the summer holidays to see how it works out. I don't know what we'll tell your mum. She's always hated fairs. We can say we're touring round the countryside for summer. That's sort of true, I said. Oh, Dad, it'll be so great. I'm so lucky, I paused. Oh, no. What about Lucky? She can come too. She's a streetwise little cat. I think she'll take travelling life okay, though whiskey and soda will have to go to old Ron and Mrs. Davies. Rose says we can rig up Saul's old caravan as a very special bedroom for you. You can have Lucky and her duvet in with you. There'll be room for your silver chest, Rose says. She'll paint the flowers all over if that's what you'd like. You can have Billy's dollhouse too, and space for your funny woolly toys and books and sewing stuff. And I haven't forgotten your swing. Every site we pitch up at, we'll find a good tree and fix it up for you. So we won't be flatties anymore, we'll be fairground folk. I suppose so, yes. Fairground kids are expected to help out. Can I help you, Dan? You always do, darling. And can I help Rose with her Candyfloss store? She's counting on it. Dad, there's just one more thing. What's that, Princess? Promise you'll say yes. What is it you want, darling? Can I have my hair dyed pink? What? Absolutely not, said Dad. But I'm good at getting round him. ... And that is the end of Candyfloss by Jacqueline Wilson. What a throwback read that was. Thank you so much for listening to my read-along channels. As you can see, they're not always perfect, but is anyone? So I'll be having a little think over the next few days as to which read-along book I'd like to do next. If you have any ideas, then pop them in the comments. I do have a big old collection of Jacqueline Wilson books, so it may be a Jacqueline Wilson book, we don't know yet. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to my read-along channel. Until the next time, guys, with a new book, goodbye.